Hi, I'm Ximena Gonzalez, and my major is general biology. I'm from uh, Pachuca, Hidalgo, which is in Mexico. And then when I was 12, I moved to Santa Clarita, California, and now I'm in San Diego. Initially, school, as in middle school and elementary, which I came in sixth grade, was pretty tough, I would say. I'm kind of an introvert, so it was very hard to bond with people and like make friends when I basically didn't speak their language. And also, like, the cultural boundary was very difficult. Like, my lunch always looked different than everyone else's because my mom would cook like Mexican food all the time. Um, and I had a hard time socializing until I would say high school that I finally was able to like open up more and actually make friends. In high school, I joined the choir as well as cross country and a club called Mi Gente, and so that type of involvement kind of forced me to go out of my shell and socialize more. My English was pretty good by the time I got to high school, so I was much more comfortable um, with like socializing with everyone and making friends. Going to college was an interesting process because it's very different from how it is in Mexico. Usually in Mexico, college isn't as big of a deal or something that you know about and look forward to since you're like in high school or middle school. So it was interesting to have to learn to get used to like really looking forward and getting prepared for college when you're like just a freshman in high school. Um, so for me, it was a whole learning process because my parents didn't know about the whole process of applying to college. So I had to learn about all of it myself, like the SATs, everything. I had to discover it step by step. And they definitely were there for me, but it was very hard because I was the one who had to initiate all the like search into the path for college. Um, and because I also wasn't used to the process, I didn't have a dream school or anything. It was all very like, whatever happens, happens type of thing. So I got into a few colleges. It was really fun. I didn't have a specific dream school, like I said. So I basically just toured the schools that I had gotten into. And I really, really liked UC San Diego. I liked the vibes of the place. I like how it was different everywhere you walked into campus. Everything, it was like a little city of its own. And it had so many clubs, so many things. And they also had the Raza Resource Centro, which kind of got me more interested into coming here. Transitioning into college was a little tough, I would say, because I definitely am very close with my family. And uh, one of the toughest thing I had to get used to was dining hall food. My mom cooks amazing all the time. And so for me, having to eat at the dining hall every day was just very mentally draining. I was able to get like a bus to all the way to Los Angeles almost every weekend because I miss my family so much. So it definitely was a whole process. I don't visit my family as much anymore because I'm super busy as a senior, but definitely when I started college, it was a whole transition, and I would always try to find a way to get home, or my mom would come, or my dad. So definitely it was a whole, it took me a bit to get used to being away from them. So I'm a general biology major, and I picked that major because it's general enough to where I wouldn't be tied down to anything I didn't like. And I really liked that I was able to kind of um, experience a lot of different classes, take a lot of different electives. So I took like genetics, neurobio classes. Of course, there's the lower divisions that are very hard, like chemistry, physics. But yeah, overall, I think the major is pretty broad. So I was able to kind of pick the classes that I just found interesting instead of having like a very specialized major. Freshman year, I was able to join a lab kind of out of nowhere. I just was like, okay, I'll try it out. It was Eidecker lab, and I learned so much. That was kind of my first involvement into something in college. I was able to learn a lot about lab techniques and things like that. And eventually I got paired with a mentor and was able to do research for the trust program. So that was a really big deal for me because I was deciding whether to do medical school or graduate school. So I really wanted to try out what it felt like to do research. Then the pandemic happened, so I kind of didn't do anything for a bit. But then once I came back, I started working at the Raza Resource Centro, which was also one of my favorite decisions I've made so far in college. And I also auditioned for an a cappella group. So like those are my three main things that I think I'm the most involved in, as well as the UCSD free clinic. So I've been trying to juggle all of that after the pandemic, and it's been really fun, super busy, but really fun. Being part of organizations is definitely what keeps me going and what makes me enjoy school and makes the whole college experience worth it. I think only focusing in classes, you don't get as much out of it as you would from like making friends. And for example, for me, working at the Raza Centro has been a cool experience because you get to like actually have an impact and like help make changes in school that the school needs. So I think that being part of orgs and clubs is good for like mental health and your social life, but also some of them are really good for doing something that like means a lot to you beyond just like going to class. I've decided with all my experience at the school that I want to go with the medical school path. So I'm currently in the process of applying for medical schools, and hopefully in 2024 I'll be starting medical school. Some advice I would give to someone who was about to start college is to enjoy the experience and join as many things as they can. That your grades and your classes are important, but they aren't everything. And that the most that you'll get out of college is joining clubs, getting like a job that you're passionate about, that you care about, doing research. There's so many resources for students to have amazing experiences that you won't have after you graduate. So I think that focusing only on classes could take away from a lot more things that you could get out of college.